I run a business called The Goat Farm, which is an advertising and social media business helping brands and companies to connect to people. My ambition when I started The Goat Farm was to do something that would be different every day, that would make a big difference to the business outcomes for my clients and make me happy. The catalyst for me getting into business for myself and setting up the Goat Farm and pulling together the community of people I work with was I was in a big multinational ad agency, and that kind of business was not nimble enough to do the sort of stuff I wanted to do, particularly social media. That was the catalyst for me. Social media really, really interested me. And at that time, big agencies, the model that they operated under, there was just no way for them to make money out of that and to make a living. As a smaller operator, there was that opportunity. So that was the catalyst for me to make that change. One thing I think a lot about is small businesses, especially these days, are in a DIY age where you can do your own accounts, you can do your own marketing, you can do your own many functions that used to be handed over to professionals. And there are a lot of places you can get those things, a lot of apps, a lot of websites, a lot of services. I think there's a role for someone, and it could be a bank, there's a role for being the expert advisor, being the trusted source to say, this one's worth looking at, this one's worth looking at. Not trying to sell you something necessarily, but taking the time to go through these alternative services and online services and apps that you don't have time to review and making a recommendation. The most memorable piece of business advice I've ever received was completely wrong. I worked at a big advertising network, and when I was considering leaving that, the regional CEO said to me, you don't want to do that. You don't want to leave what he called the aircraft carrier, the Royal Navy, and go paddle a kayak, because you won't have the support, you won't have the network, you won't have the resources. And you know what? It's 2014. There's social media, there's free apps, there's all sorts of platforms you can build a business on now that all they cost you is your investment in time. There's amazing global networks that are free to use. That advice could not have been more wrong.